Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to do an interview to Kishore. He is a SCJ prize, and he has come from India to Spain, and now we are going to learn more about his life and Indian culture. Hello, Kishore.
Hello.
My name is Irene, and here are the rest of my group. She is Natalia, Juanma, Patricia, and the one who is recording is Luis Manuel. As we know, you are from India, and the first thing that we would like to know is if your name is common there.
Yeah, my name is, it's not very common, but it's common. For example, in my village, we are 4 or 5, to say 10 people who has the name Kishore. And there is a story also. It's a little bit funny, but bien.
Okay.
Where does it come from? I mean, who was the person who decided to call you like that?
Usually our names are given by our parents. Yes or no?
Yes.
And then my name was given by my parents, and then the name that my parents gave me during my baptism was Joseph. And then something happened when I was registered in the school. They changed my name to Joseph Kishore. So I don't know who named me this.
I'm sorry for this question, but how old are you?
Thank you for asking me. To say really, I am 31. But the people, they look at me and they ask me, are you 26 or 27? I am very happy.
When did you arrive in Spain?
I arrived on August 2016.
And before arrive here, have you been in other countries?
Really, no. I haven't been in any other countries. This is the first country out of India for me.
Perfect.
Do you like Spain and living here?
Yes, the people, they are very friendly, and the culture I like very much. The way, the warmthness of welcoming the people, and the people how they receive and how they communicate with you and how they ask you feel like a family, that you are in a family.
What is the part do you like the most?
Actually, I didn't travel much in Spain. I know the places, mostly the community of Valencia and the community of Salamanca a little bit. And then I can say I like the places where I am. Suppose past 2 years I was in Valencia, so I like Valencia. Now I am in Alba de Tormes, I like Alba de Tormes. So this is my best place for present.
It was difficult to adapt to Spanish culture?
Actually, for every person, it is a little bit difficult to adapt to the culture and language and the customs of the place where we go, out of their own place. For me also, it's difficult in the beginning, 1 or 2 months, to adapt to the culture and to the language. Especially in Spain, the people speak very fast.
Yes.
And in my place, I speak, some people they speak very fast, but in my case, I speak a little bit slow. And then it was very difficult for me to adapt to the people's standard of speaking. But it's not so difficult for me. I didn't find that much difficult to be with the people and to communicate, to speak with them, with the food and everything.
Where exactly did you live in India?
I lived in different places actually, because till I finished my schooling, I was in my village. And later when I joined in the seminary, I moved to other place, and then for my further studies, I moved to another state.
Could you tell us some more about there?
Yes, of course. The place where I did my schooling was my village, my own village. Then afterwards I joined in the seminary. This is a city called Guntur in our own state. And then later I went for studies in Kerala. So we have other 2 Indians in Spain now. So they come from Kerala, other state. From my state to the other state, it's almost 20 hours of journey by train. It's around 1,200 kilometers. And then afterwards, after 3 years of my study in the state, and I came back to my state, and I did my theological studies, my priestly studies and everything. And I was doing my ministry before coming to Spain in our own state, in one of the parishes. So there we have a school run by bishop of that diocese, and the parish we have. So I was celebrating masses and then taking care of the hostel boys.
Cool.
What do you miss the most?
It's a difficult question, but fine. I miss the people and the food, especially the spices. So we don't find here eating the spicy food. So I miss spicy food.
About the food, what is your favorite food from India?
Actually, there are many special food items to say. Especially for me, I don't have favorites. Whatever is good, whatever is tasty, I eat and I enjoy. That's why I'm getting fatter. Fine, in India, as we call here paella, so in India also we call one type we make with rice. It's called biryani. So biryani is a famous dish from India, and especially Hyderabadi biryani. Hyderabad was our capital. Since 4 years we were separated. Now we have a new capital. But before that we have capital, namely Hyderabad. So biryani is named after Hyderabadi biryani. So it's made by Muslims mostly. So that's the famous dish all over India. So I like mostly when I go home to try this.
Yes.
If you had to describe India with a single word, what could it be?
Incredible.
And Spain?
Marvelous.
Could you describe a normal day in your country?
Yes, of course. A normal day starts for a person around 5 o'clock in the morning. So the people wake up around 5 o'clock, they make the things in the house, they prepare food and everything, and then they go to the office. The educated, they go to the office, and the uneducated, those who work in the fields, they go to the fields. Sometimes it's around 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So this is mostly the people wake up and go. So around 8 o'clock, they move on to the fields for work or to the offices for their job. And then around 12:30, 1 o'clock, that depends on the place. So 12:30, 1 o'clock, we have lunch in India. And around 7 o'clock, 6, 7, they come back home after the work, and then they do the work, housework. And around 8 to 9 o'clock, 8, 9, between 8 and 9, they have their supper. And around 10, 10:30, they go to bed. So the day starts again, the new day at 5 o'clock.
Do you miss your family?
Yes, of course. As all of us miss our families, I also miss my family. But I don't miss so much because since I'm a priest, I have a religious family. So wherever I go, I feel that it's my family. Now I am in this community, my brothers are there, the priest, Father Valentin, Brother Luigi, Father Antonio, Father Valeriano, Father Doroteo. So they are my family.
And how often do you meet them?
Actually, if I am in India, usually we have 20 days a year, a vacation. So we go in the month of May, if I am in India. Since now I am in Spain, I am going every 2 years. This summer I was at home for 2 months. So 1 month completely I was with my family, and 1 month I was visiting, celebrating masses and visiting my friends. So like that every 2 years if I am in Spain.
And have you got siblings?
Yes, I have got.
How many siblings have you got?
I have got one sibling.
Are you the youngest or the oldest of your siblings?
Yes, I have got one older sister, and I am the youngest one and the most lovable.
Is the family important role in India?
Yes, of course. the Indians, they give more importance to the family. In a sense, they love the family members, they take care of the elderly people. And here also I see, but in India mostly where I come from, the people, they go for work outside. When they go, it's all over the world, it happens the same. The people, they come back for holidays, they are at home, especially the Catholics, they come back home for Christmas to be with them. And we have the annual celebrations of the church or some feast, they come back and they be with the family. And always, since now the technology has grown, wherever we are able to call home, video call, and then we see face to face each other and speak. The family, they give importance in this way, but and then what is happening in a commercial world, in a secular world, is the people, they are more being with the technology and everything, they are missing the presence of the people. So since they are very busy with their work and everything, they just call home and they forget to come back home and meet them.
Could you tell us some common features in the Indian families?
Yes, till 1990s, the families were joint families. To say one generation, the parents and the children get married, another generation. So like that, 3-4 generations, they used to live together. So the parents, family, and all the relatives, they used to live together. But and then these 30 years from 1990s, what's happening is the nuclear families have grown because the people have to move to the cities for work and everything, finding the jobs in another countries, in another states. So what's happening was only the parents and 1 or 2 children, so no more. So all over the world, if you see in the Western culture, the people, they live in the big buildings, in their own spaces they have. So it is also happening in India at present. The people, they are moving out and they are no more living in a joint families. So this is a painful situation, but and then we have to accept the reality. One good thing was in the joint families, we have a common purse, everything in common. We share what we gain from our work, we share the food, and we share our feelings and everything. But nowadays, in the nuclear families, since we are 1 or 2, we are unable to cope up. Thinking of the economic situation also, the families are broken nowadays.
What did you used to do with your family?
Actually, when I go for holidays, I used to be with my family only because my father has to go to fields for work. And my mother, we have buffaloes, so my mother is taking care of the buffaloes always. And my sister, she lives in her village with her husband and her children. And then what happens, I have to be at home in the family, meeting my friends and everything. And there is no much to do in the family. And only thing I do is to go along with my parents for work, to be with them in the fields. Usually I was doing it. Even last summer when I went, I was with them. So I know how to milk the buffaloes and how to cut the grass and bring from the fields. So I help them in their work. It's not a thing that we go for a picnic or something, but it's a reunion. It's understanding the parents and to be with them, to help them in their work. Because only 1 month or 20 days or 3 weeks, I'm at home. At least these 3 weeks, 20 days when I'm at home, if I help them, they feel happy. And their happiness is my happiness, and they feel my happiness is their happiness. So they don't want me to work, but I like to help them.
Now, I am going to ask you about things that you have done in your life. Is the teaching and learning process the same as here?
Actually, when I came first to Spain, I didn't understand the education system. But more or less when I came here, I started to understand the system of education, and it's more or less the same. The process and the subjects more or less the same. But and then what happens is, here we have primary as 6 classes, sexta de primaria.
Yes.
But in India we have 1 to 5. Here we have 7 to 10 secundaria. In India we have 6 to 8. And then 9th and 10th classes we call them lower secondary, and 11th and 12th we call bachillerato here. And in India we have 11th and 12th higher secondary. So later we do pre-university. Pre-university we have bachillerato, here we call grado, and then we have post-graduation, graduation and post-graduation. As same as here, it's all over the world the same, but and then the classes that we see and the process, there are little differences. That depends on the country where we are.
Where did you study in India?
Till 1 to 10th, I did my schooling in my own place, in my own village. So there's a school run by sisters, and we had a nice school, but I didn't do my English medium. I was doing everything in my mother tongue, Telugu. So later, after 10th class, I joined in the seminary. So I had to move to the city where lays the seminary. Then I was learning 1 year of English, and then later I went to the college to do my intermediate studies. Intermediate studies we call bachillerato here. So I was doing my intermediate studies. Then for my degree, I went to Kerala, other state, and then I came back to my own state to continue my theological studies.
When you finished high school, what did you plan to do?
Actually, I had 3 plans I was thinking of doing. At first, I wanted to join in the army. So I had always this thought. I was so much aggressive and I had so much energy to go. When I used to share with my mother that I wanted to join in the police academy or army, she didn't like that idea. But and then later I wanted to go for joining in a acting school. I like more of acting. And then that was not possible for me, especially for those who come from villages and lower economic backgrounds. So that's difficult. So I had to choose the priesthood. Actually, I didn't choose. When I was in 8th standard, my mother was very sick. So she had to be in the hospital, she had to be operated. So that was the time that I was praying more. And later, when I was in 10th standard, so that we have public exams. We go to other place and we have to write the exams. So that time I was in another place, and again my mother had to be in the hospital and my father was taking care of her. So that was the difficult time for me. So I was praying very much, and the prayer helped me to cope up with the situations and go on. And later, when I was in 10th standard, my cousin brother, he joined in the seminary to become a priest. So by looking at him, I also wanted to join. And then I joined in the seminary. So everything went on well. But it was not my intention to become a priest. Just I wanted to join in the seminary. But it happened. It's not I who chose, but it's God who chose me.
Girl, you're my chum,